in Mexico and Central America because it's the beginning of the Mesoamerican New Year. I know that most of you don't know this because this culture was conquered, and so it was erased from the memory, from the humankind memory. And so I want to take some time to reflect on that day. And I can see myself on top of a pyramid. I'm 60 years old, and now I'm dreaming in Nahuatl, the language of my ancestors, so my grandma. And for me, it's a miracle that my grandma was a native speaker of Aztec. And so I had a collection of poems published in 1992. There was in Aztec, Spanish, and English. So I'm going to call the four directions by calling the north, by saying, Tawi, calling the ancestors. So that the wisdom ancestors will be here, with me the rest of this new year. And then I'm going to call the direction of the east, that is the youth. And I will say, Tawi, so that the protectors of poetry and the arts will be with us also tonight and the rest of our lives. And then I will call the south. The south is the direction of water, and it is the women and the protectors of the beauty. And so we're going to say, Tawi. And finally, the direction that has to do with the sun when it goes down, and that is the end of a journey. And we're going to say, Tawi. And I have a new book, yes. And in this new book, it's interesting that, the title of this section is Blast from the Past. And I think I'm a bridge from the past. And the poem goes, Invocation. My left hand is the east, fire. I paint myself all red to welcome the sun. My right hand is the north, earth. I dress in white to invoke our ancestors. My left foot is the south, water. I put on a yellow crown made of sunflowers. My right foot is the west, wind. I give thanks to the black mantle of the night. My face is at the center. From my mouth, flower songs spring out to the four directions. In Nahuatl, poetry is said in Xochitl Inquihuatl, and that means flower and song, flor y canto. And I'll read this poem that came out in 1992 in this collection called Snake Poems, and the poem goes, Mestizo. My name is not Francisco. There is an Arab within me who prays 5 times each day. Behind my Roman nose, there is a Phoenician smiling. My eyes still see Sevilla, but my mouth is Olmec. My dark hands are Toltec. My cheekbones fear Chichimec. My feet recognize no border, no rule, no code, no law for this wanderer's heart. And I like to read from, since, my good friend Bob mentioned Garcia Lorca, I have a collection of poems just came out called Canto Hondo that refers to the Cante Honde. The Cante Hondo, is basically goes back to the gypsies. The idea of the people the poorest of the poor. And this poem goes, Soñando. I went to La Casa del Huerto, Garcia Lorca's family home. It's a museum now. And I spent, a few hours there, and it was empty. And so I entered the room where he actually was a youth, and he said, don't touch, but I touch everything, And then they had a bed there, a little bed. So I said, I'm gonna take a nap. So I did take a little 5-minute nap on Garcia Lorca's bed, and the poem goes, Soñando. Federico, me recuesto sobre tu cama, en tu casa familiar del huerto de Granada. Un nuevo mundo quiero soñar una vez más. Dreaming, Federico, I lie down on your bed in your family's country house in Granada. A new world I want to dream all over again. En cantos del alma, los cantos de mi pueblo se oyen igual al llanto hondo del alma de los gitanos. Soul songs. The songs of my people sound like the deep cry of the soul of gypsies. And last month, basically 3 Mexicans were killed in the United States. And I remember I lived in San Francisco, and one day I was going to Stanford in the morning, and I saw a pool of blood in the corner of the block where I lived. And I stopped and I saw the blood, and I reflected and said, and then I found out that this is many years ago, that the police had killed a 16-year-old. And this happens now in America very often with African Americans and with Latinos. And so the poem goes, las calles lloran, la misión San Francisco, California. Ay, en esta esquina lo mataron. Ay, por la espalda lo balearon. Ay, gritan las calles del barrio. Ay, que roja la sangre a los 16 años. The streets are crying. Mission District, San Francisco, California. Ay, here in this corner they killed him. Ay, through the back they shot him. Ay, the streets of the barrio cry out. Ay, how red the blood at a 60-year-old. And then I like to finish with the poem that Andy is passing out. I made 50 copies, and so 52. It's celebrating the 52 cycle in the Mesoamerican. I'll read it. So you have to share maybe. And the poem goes, I read it for tonight. Algo más que palabras nos une, como el alba tras una noche sin dormir. Algo más que no tiene peso ni precio, como el olor de las flores en un altar. Algo más nos desata el alma, como la risa de niños jugando con sus madres. Algo más sin nombre, sin remedio, como el beso que nos marca para siempre. Algo más allá de los bordes y fronteras del mundo, que nos hace a todos hermanos, hermanas. Something else than words unites us, like dawn after a long sleepless night. Something else without weight, priceless, like the fragrance of flowers on the altar. Something else unites at once our souls, like the laughter of children playing with their mothers. Something else nameless without remedy, like a kiss that marks us forever. Something else beyond borders and frontiers in this world, making us all brothers and sisters. Thank you very much.